it's probably worth reading the full Bezos quote because this is a really good one that he's obviously applied during his kind of rise, the rise of Amazon, and it's something that has been a very core to their success. So here's the full quote. I very frequently get the question, what's going to change in the next 10 years? And that is a very interesting question. It's a very common one. I almost never get the question, what's not going to change in the next 10 years? And I submit to you that that second question is actually the more important of the two because you can build a business strategy around the things that are stable in time.
Yeah, it's interesting because every agency conversation that we have these days is it starts with what's changing with AI, and obviously that matters a lot, right? Because AI is having a big impact across the board. But if AI is really the whole conversation and the only thing you're thinking about, really your strategy is you're building against a moving target. You look at something in April and then you look at it in like October, like it's totally different. Like your whole approach for AI can change so quickly.
So, I think these are all things that are obviously we're all grappling with. But yeah, today, just wanting to sit with this other question, right? And like, thinking about what will be true, even beyond this kind of AI disruptive wave that we're feeling right now. And so, yeah, let's dive into the 6 themes that we came up with.
The first theme is that it still starts with trust. I think, one of the fundamentals of an agency business is that it's really a trust business. If you think about clients and their relationship with us, they're handing us, their brand, their reputation, their budget, and for in some cases their career is on the line for working with an agency. And those fundamentals don't really change because the tools and AI change. If anything, if you think about the relationship, it gets even more intense because there's more changing in the environment and the industry, and clients really need to feel like they're in good hands with an agency.
Yeah, and as we kind of brainstormed this and thought a bit deeper, right? When people typically think about trust, it's about like building more trust, like, hey, let's build trust, build trust. But we kind of inverted that as well, and we kind of asked ourselves, hey, what breaks trust? Just because like if you think about the client dynamic, you can have a great thing going with them, and then all of a sudden, if something happens that kind of hurts that trust, like it could really unravel a lot of the goodwill you've built up. So we made a little short list of like things that won't change in terms of breaking trust. So the first one is like promising something and not delivering. Bad surprises, right? Especially about money or timing. Saying one thing to the client and a different thing internally, and then not owning up when we make a mistake, and mess up. So like those are things I think even in 10 years, whether AI is doing the work or human, like it's still going to be something that, impacts trust in a big way.
Yeah, it's interesting because like there's like many ways that you could try to appear more trustworthy, to a client or at large. Like you can do more like case study work, you can do like testimonials, you can like apply for awards, you can like work on your website. But yeah, it's really thinking about the opposite, like to your point, right? It's like what are the things that you're doing that are actually breaking trust? Like in the day to day, like you didn't send out a status update to your client, or they got like a surprise change order
It's the worst.
that showed up in their inbox out of nowhere. And then if your invoicing isn't synced up, maybe you've invoiced before you actually delivered the work.
Clients hate
And like
that.
these, yeah, these are the things that like clients remember. And when they think about your relationship working with them, like those are the things when your name comes up, they're like, ah, like these guys, they did this.
Yeah, and really, I think the natural inclination for a lot of folks is like, oh, AI automates stuff, so now we can turbocharge and automate and scale up our marketing, and so now we can have tens of thousands of LinkedIn followers more easily than before. We could blast emails to all these people that need to learn about us, and I think it just kind of goes back to some of the things that we've been talking about on this podcast, which is like, look, we're in the business of expertise and really helping solve problems, and those things really start with a smaller group of people, maybe 50 people, maybe 100. These are folks that like know you, can vouch for you, and then it's about investing in those relationships because those are the folks who are going to have that impact on referring you quality opportunities. And so yeah, like do you know them personally, maybe even know their kids' names, or are you showing up for them when maybe they're fundraising or they have a new job. And then also just staying top of mind by sending them maybe valuable articles that you found you think that might be helpful for them. It's like these things that the work is still needed to kind of cultivate and build those relationships.
Yeah, it's funny because, you can't automate the relationship part of it, but there's some aspects where AI can help. Like AI can help you like refer, oh, what did we talk about last time? And you can look at your call recording, or if you need to like draft an email, like AI can help you do a better job of that. But like the work of, caring for someone, like showing up for them, and then just being kind of there for them in all phases of life over several years is really that's like the human relationship that you have with people. So it's easy for now. You can like spot when like AI is trying to like fake warmth in an email, or uh like people can see through it.
Yeah.
But over time, the more you can build true relationships, your agency will continue to benefit from that.
Yeah, and I think this is where like the old school kind of idea of like the FaceTime, as in like the literal like showing up in person, in the flesh, and like being around people and like just kind of creating moments together, I think is really important.